Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Renee. For those of you that are new here, every time I set this up, I could swear I'm crooked. But anywho, if it is, please don't mind. But today I want to talk about basically allowing people to not like you and just starting to care a little bit less about what other people think, even if it means that they don't like you, or yeah, it's simple, but it's not really, because a lot of us are scared that other people won't like us, or that they'll have some kind of opinion about us that isn't flattering, or this or that. Believe it or not, a lot of our behaviors kind of come from how we think other people will perceive us, right? So that's kind of how people-pleasing behaviors come about, because when we're always saying yes to someone, when we're doing things that will make them happy over our own internal guidance, over our own inner voice, and what we think that we should do, when we're prioritizing how somebody else will feel over our own sense of integrity and desire, it's because we're scared about what they're going to think, and we are subconsciously trying to control the way that they look at us by acting a certain way. And it's kind of effed up. It's kind of a messed up behavior. So that's what I want to talk about today, because it's kind of been a little bit of a lesson for me. Because I think that, I don't know, I think maybe it's the new year. I'm going to just attribute all of this newness, this change in energy, this change of motivation that I have. I'm going to attribute a lot of it to the new year, because I think I started to care less somehow. I just started to be a little bit more I don't care. And I don't know what you call that, but that's how I feel right now. So that's what we're talking about today. And I think it works for the better. So it's been really interesting. But if you haven't heard, this is another formal announcement that on February 1st, I'm going to be launching my first program, Empress of Esteem. It's going to be a live training on how to raise your self-esteem. I'm going to be going into detail about my own experiences and things that I've learned from life coaches, from therapy, from all of the inner work that I've done over the past, I would say, 3 to 5 years that really transformed my life. And if you are somebody who thinks that you might have a low self-esteem, or if you think that it's impacting your life in a negative way, then this program is for you. I didn't even know that I had a low self-esteem, but when I look back and I see all of the toxic situations that I was in, and just the lower vibe that my whole life was, I think a lot of it had to do with the low self-esteem that I had. And I think that that's been the number one change that I can say made my life go from basically I didn't want to wake up in the morning to I have a joy now. I have a joy that I didn't have before. And I think it's because I changed my self-esteem through a lot of different practices that I'm going to be condensing into this one program. So you absolutely need to be there if this sounds like something for you. More information is in the description below. And if you want to work with me one-on-one for mentality coaching or accountability coaching, anything that you want to work on that you think would be more beneficial to do in a private setting, you can book now a one-on-one call with me on my Calendly. And I actually am working on something else that I'm going to be launching soon too. So, exciting stuff. Check out my website below. You can find most of what I'm talking about on there. But yeah, so the courage to be disliked, right? I think this is something that women struggle with especially, and something that I've struggled with a lot, that I still struggle with, that I have to check myself when it comes up, because I wasn't aware that I just cared so much what other people thought. And I'm going to be using a little petty, silly example, but it just speaks volumes. So I don't know why I've always had this weird aversion to Instagram. I don't know why. I've always had this love-hate relationship with Instagram. At one point I liked it, in 2018 when it was fun, and I just felt like it was it was a different time. It's a different time. But in terms of content creation, I just never let myself get comfortable on Instagram. And it's so weird because on my TikTok and on my YouTube, I'll literally talk about anything. I'm so open. Especially on my TikTok, I literally I talk about whatever I want, I spill the tea on there. If you're not following me on TikTok, then you need to. But it's like on Instagram, I was never letting myself go there. Like I consider myself a content creator, but only on TikTok and YouTube. Like I never considered myself that on Instagram. And the question is why? And it's because I care about what people who know me in real life think about me. And I do. I'm not going to say that I don't. But that was like something that stopped me from sharing my content on Instagram because I just didn't want, like, I don't know, I just had this weird thing about like coworkers seeing my content or like family seeing my content or like just, I don't know, I can't even really put my finger on it to this day, but it was just this weird fear I had about like sharing some content on Instagram as opposed to like other social media where it feels like, you know, where it feels like, I don't know, I just had this weird feeling about it, right? So fast forward the year, it's a new year, and I started an Instagram account where I could share my content on that account. And I want to eventually like get rid of my personal account and just use my like content account. So I guess that's what I'm doing now. But yeah, I'm posting my content on Instagram now. And in a way that was kind of like me over like looking my fear a little bit of being seen, because just because it's not the same account doesn't mean that people aren't going to see my content on Instagram, because that's just how the algorithm is. And you know, I decided to just do it anyway because I want to share my stuff. And funnily enough, I actually had somebody message me a video of mine that they found on the Instagram account. They're like, "What is this?" And I was like, I didn't even have like a second of panic or anything. I'm just like, yeah, it's a page that I started to share my YouTube and my TikTok. And it's like, I'm normalizing now being seen in this way in regards to like the other content that I make on Instagram now by people that like I know in real life, if that makes sense. And it's like, it's petty, but at the same time for me it was kind of like a block all these years, because I feel like if I started an Instagram account sooner, then, you know, I could have grown my Instagram like a long time ago, because I can literally make content for TikTok and YouTube every single day. But I don't know why I just always held myself back on that platform when I clearly have a passion for social media. So it's just been this weird full circle thing. But moral of the story is the block that I had to kind of get through to get there was not caring what people think really, and not caring, not only that, but it's like being open to the idea that not everybody's going to like me and not everyone's going to like what I have to say. And sometimes that's the fear behind not wanting to really show yourself, and behind like the fear of being seen is that you're going to say something that's going to offend somebody, even if it's unintentional, or someone's going to have a different view, or someone's going to like, you know, just come for you because they don't see things the same, or whatever it is, or they're going to think you're ugly that day. Like, you know, just like all of these kinds of different weird fears come up. But it's kind of like such a petty block, because when I really think about it, like the reason that I make this content and the reason that I started even my TikTok and my YouTube, like I'm realizing more and more what I really want to do, which is raise the self-esteem of women. Like that is my core value that I'm trying to do by making all of this content. And that is so much more important than, you know, being online and maybe my hair doesn't look right, or someone calling me ugly, or someone disagreeing with something that I have to say, because like there's like a deeper purpose behind why I'm doing this. So imagine if I didn't have like the courage to show up as often as I am now, and to really like let myself speak my mind. Even doing it on YouTube more is an expansion for me, because before I would only talk shit on TikTok, and I'm expanding onto YouTube now. So, you know, and I'm posting it on Instagram. So I'm slowly like letting myself kind of like expand my parameters of how much I'm allowing myself to be seen online. And, you know, for me, that's like my own little personal growth journey. But it's really interesting if you take a step back and you think about where in your life are you not letting yourself be fully seen because you're fearing what other people will think or what they will say. I know that a lot of content creators, they fear this sometimes, like when they're just first starting to make their content, they're like, oh my God, what are people gonna say? Like, this is so embarrassing. Like, you know, I'm posting like an influencer, like influencers in the wild. But what the hell? Like, if it's what you want to do, if it's like your dream, then why wouldn't you do that? Because you're scared of what people are going to say or what they're going to think? Like, you're going to be okay. Like, people have an opinion about everything. People have an opinion about if your socks aren't matching. Like, it's not that serious, especially in comparison to like what you want to do with your own life that nobody else can do for you. Like, you're responsible for what you want to do with your life. So letting other people's opinions kind of stop you from that is just illogical. So yeah, I just feel like overall we can't, as women, be too afraid of people not liking us or, you know, disagreeing with us or having like whatever opinion. You have to let people have their own opinions. You can't control other people's perception of you. You can try, and it's miserable. And you can, like, you know, quiet yourself or, you know, act a certain way that you think will be received better. But when you're not being true to yourself, you're the one that really suffers in the end, if that makes sense. So there's something to be said about caring a little bit less. You know, use your own judgment and your own, like, discernment about that. Don't just be like an a-hole because you can. But, you know, at the same time, don't hold yourself back from being fully you because you're too much prioritizing what other people think and what they want and what they like. Like, don't let that be the reason, because there's better reasons. Like, that's not a good one, you know? Like, if you're going to not do what you want to do with your life, like, let it be for, like, a solid reason and not for this something so petty that you have no control over. Because even if you're a perfect little angel, like, I guarantee you, and this has been my experience too, there's still going to be somebody who doesn't like you, who has something to say, who could swear that you could do more, you know? So just live your life and remember that it's your life, you know? So you can't live like that, like, according to other people's opinions and standards. Like, you have to take that kind of power back and, like, start to care about your own opinion of yourself more than you care about other people's opinion of you, if that makes sense. Because when you go to sleep at night, like, you are the person that you have to be accountable for, and God, of course. So, you know, other people's opinions, they shouldn't be guiding your actions every single day. Like, there's you know, like, don't over prioritize that too much. Obviously there's appropriate times that you should care. I'm not saying don't care at all, but, like, care a little bit less if that means that it's gonna, like, free your spirit and let you be yourself more, and if it's gonna get you closer to your goals and to the life that you want. Subscribe to my channel if you like this video. I really appreciate having you here. I'm so happy that my channel is finally growing. I've had this channel for years, okay, and I'm seeing a lot of growth right now, so I'm really excited. Thank you for 900 subscribers, and if Empress of Esteem sounds like a program for you and you're curious about all of the ways, concrete step-by-step ways that you can raise your self-esteem, then you need to be there on February 1st, and the enrollment link is in my description. Along with any other links that come up in the future, you can generally always look there. So thanks so much. Subscribe to my channel. Bye.